Welcome to the Football Show on PLZ Soccer, sponsored by Arnold Clark. I'm Peter Martin. It is Friday. Delighted to have your company. Our guests on the show tonight, Alan Ruff and Barry Ferguson, with me to discuss football. And there's lots to discuss in Scottish football. Yep, lots to get into, including a look at the weekend football Saturday and Sunday in the Scottish Premiership. As you can see, our two guests dressed for the occasion. Ruffy, you're wearing something a little bit country and western, just to try and put a little bit of a lighter note on Scottish football, because, boy, it's been a tough week. Yeah,
it certainly has, but no, this is Scottish tartan. It's a black watch, as you know. But no, it has been a really exciting week. I mean, I think if you take everything away from Neil Lennon, I know the game wasn't great, but in an atmosphere, it looked tremendous to be in the stadium and that everything that was going on. Yeah, absolutely, unless you were trackside. OK, let's get into the meat and bones of that particular discussion, because Neil Lennon, Barry, has come out and said he may reconsider his position as Hibs boss because of the incident with the coin and, of course, the ongoing issues with abuse.
I would like to think that he would stay at Hibs. Obviously, it was ridiculous at what happened in the derby. I don't condone that. A lot of people have had their say in it. Listen, it's okay for fans to give managers and coaches abuse. For me, when I watch Neil Lennon, he turns round and he's just, listen, it's light-hearted stuff. He's celebrating at times. And for somebody to go and throw a coin, as I said, I think it's ridiculous. I hope they get found and they get punished in the right way.
Yeah, let's switch this around. I've written a column which clearly I've just been blunt about the type of abuse he gets because he's an Irish Catholic. Yep. And it's the unsavoury side of Scottish football, but the column itself is based on the fact that from his perspective, in this whole incident on Wednesday night, there are a group of people who think he's fair game. You know, there's some people who hate him, and they hate him because of religious issues and the perception they have of him. And some people just are haters anyway. There's nothing you can do about that. Now, I think, you know, the main crux of my column was all about fans who can't behave and then throwing in the religious situation where he is constantly given abuse. I'm going to flip that now and suggest that on the other side, there are a group of fans who are no better, who give you similar abuse. What's your experience of sectarian abuse?
Well, I'm similar to Lenny, if I'm being honest. Most of the abuse I get is the reason that I played with Rangers. And I get it, well, I'd say a high percentage of it. You've seen yourself outside the studio. Not long ago, a guy in a suit decided to call me an orange so-and-so. So I've learned to live with it, but it is disappointing, especially when my kids were a lot younger, walking down the street or at the shops. For them to listen to it and go through it got me really angry, but you know what? You've got to rise above it. You're better than these guys. It's a small minority. Let's be honest, it's not most of the fans. But I know how he feels. Sometimes it does get to you. It got to me quite a lot, and I reacted probably in a way that I shouldn't have. But I was only trying to protect my kids and protect myself at times. But it's not nice. I know how he feels, and I still get it to the day. But as I says, I've learned how to deal with it. I'm bigger and better than these people, and I just move on.
Have you ever been in a situation that Neil Lennon finds himself in from time to time, which is the physical abuse that you know, where you felt threatened and felt, you know, this is dangerous. I could be on the end of something.
No, it's more verbal, if I'm being honest, Peter. I've not been in the side that Lenny's been involved in. It's more verbal. Whether it be, as I says, whether it be out in the shops, walking in Glasgow, it can be anywhere. Even if I'm running down Strathclyde Park, I've had it a few times when I've got the jacket zipped right up and the hat down. I've probably got one of the faces everybody recognises. But it is disappointing. It does get to you at times. But as you get older, you learn how to deal with it. It is disappointing, but it's part of it, I'm afraid, and it's a disappointing part of it. It's the thing that I've got friends that are Celtic fans, obviously get friends that are Rangers fans. I'm a Rangers fan myself. That's the part that I don't like, if I'm being honest with you. I don't like to see it, and I feel for him at times. A lot of people say he brings it on himself. Well, do you know what? For me, he's just a passionate guy in the sidelines. I'm the same when I'm in the sidelines. I don't turn around and try and get reactions off fans. It's okay if fans having a go at you, but if you turn around and maybe have a wee go in terms of like banter, they can't handle it. And that's what I thought happened on Wednesday night. And a stupid fan decided to throw a coin at him, which I don't think is acceptable.
Ruffy, Neil Lennon says it's not sectarianism now, it's racism. We're just off the back of a 2-week campaign. You know, as Neil Lennon pointed out on Wednesday night, we're showing our respects, 2 sets of fans towards the tragic death of the Leicester City owner. And then, you know, 10 seconds later, all hell lets loose, and, you know, what unfolds over 90 minutes, he believes some of it is motivated by racism.
Yeah, well, only the person who threw the coin would be able to answer that one. I'd just take it further that they're just thugs. You know, that it's just the way they're brought up, this way they react, the way they think they can react, and the way they think they can get away with a football game. And this is a case that we need to find out who this person is. We also need to find out who the Hibs supporter was that punched the goalkeeper as well. That isn't acceptable either. But these people think they get away with these things, and this is a time when we need to stand up and make an example to these people, to everybody else who thinks they can get away with it.
What I will say, Peter, sorry, a lot of people get mixed up. They think that he's aggressive, and like myself, people would say, "Oh, you're aggressive." It's passion for me. It's no aggression. He's showing a bit of passion. His team are trying to win a game of football, whether it be the game on Wednesday night or before. A lot of managers are that. What do people want managers to do? Stand at the side like robots and not do anything, don't move? I like seeing a manager who is up and down the touchline, who's getting involved in the game. That for me is a proper manager.
I mean, we're now in a situation where Craig Levein has reacted to the suggestion that maybe future games, if there's trouble before, future games could be played behind closed doors. He says it's complete nonsense. You know, that shouldn't happen. I think we agree with him. It shouldn't happen. I don't think it's out of the question that, you know, if this was to continue, that the authorities might look at, you could look at a fine for the club. You could look at points being docked. You could also look at, well, you know, this is a continuing situation. You're going to play behind closed doors.
Yeah, and that might be the kind of reaction you're going to get from the other supporters who are behaving impeccably. I mean, if you're saying you get a fine, and then obviously if somebody does something wrong in a certain segment of the crowd, and somebody decides, right, that group there, that's where the next time we play at home, that group there isn't getting in, and then you'll see the good people who are paying good money, season ticket money, are going along and enjoying themselves. Then I think you'll get some kind of reaction, a much steeper reaction to the people who are bringing the game down.
I think if it comes to that situation, if it is a fine or points, I mean, that's a hard one on the clubs. I'm sure people in the crowd, if they do spot something happening, that they will show them. And I mean, I think that's the only way forward. These fans that were in that stand, whether it be the Hearts fans or the Hibs fans, they need to let them know who these people were.
Yeah, Brendan Rodgers obviously celebrating Manager of the Month, suggests today that managers need to be protected trackside. I mean, we've got the former, I think actually the former Scottish Police Federation Chairman Les Gray saying that, you know, that could have been a riot at the game on Wednesday. Neil Lennon has to be spoken to by the police about his conduct. You know, this is gathering arms and legs. Some people have one view on it, some people have another.
I don't think that Neil is doing it to cause trouble for a start. You know, he's a different kind of manager, and Barry's touched on it. Everybody reacts differently when you're standing there. You have to really experience standing in front of 20,000 people and you're getting abuse for 90 minutes, and then at the end of the game you get a wee result that's going your way, or a wee thing. You have within you want to turn around and say, like, hey, come on. Yeah. So I don't think there was anything. I would move that on a wee bit for his own good, and his own self-being. I think he should look at himself and just maybe watch what he's doing, because if it's affecting him, his family, his wee boy, maybe he should You know, just take a wee step back. Try and take a wee step back. It's going to be difficult for him because we know what he's like as a player. We know what he's like as a manager. So it's something maybe his inner self will be saying, like, maybe enjoy it when it's there and just watch what I'm doing.
Well, I was there. I can only tell you what I saw. I remember actually the goal going in, and the Hearts fans thought that it was a goal in the derby for them. It was disallowed. Neil Lennon spotted it, turned around to the crowd and said, "Sit down, calm down, it's not a goal." I mean, there wasn't anything inflammatory from him.
That's what I'm saying. For me, that's a bit of banter. You're having
You would think
a laugh for the fans.
The supporters would enjoy that.
I know.
That sort of a, you know.
Well, remember, that's coming at it from a logical situation. I mean, the other thing about it is, since this situation, you know, there are some people, even if you tell them straight what your thoughts are on it, they don't get it. They don't logically think. They automatically think that this is, you know, when you mention the word sectarianism, when you mention the word Irish Catholic, or you mention anything like that in football, there's a whole group of people who can't read or listen to the issue because they think you're scattergunning everybody. We're scattergunning people who misbehave, who should be arrested. People who actually have a mindset which thinks you can do that to Neil Lennon. You know, it's okay, he deserves it. That's the people that we are talking about who need to have a long, hard look at themselves. I caught up with the Motherwell manager this morning, obviously. Stephen Robinson, from a similar upbringing in Northern Ireland. I couldn't tell you what his religion is, but obviously, you know, he understands the Neil Lennon situation. Here's his thoughts on it.
It's ridiculous behaviour. You know, the vast majority of fans of that game, you know, had a great night, super game to watch, great atmosphere, and two people let themselves down badly. So, you know, nobody should have to go to their job and stuff for that there. So, no, disgraceful that happened. Shouldn't happen again. I find that ridiculous that anybody thinks that he brings it on himself. Do you know what I mean? He's a super manager, a great lad, deserves a lot of respect for what he's done at Hibs and what he's done previously as well. I find that very hard to take when you're actually just celebrating that your team hasn't lost a goal in the last minute. And that kind of thing happens. So I think it's an utterly ridiculous suggestion that he brought it on himself. I mean, I think the only thing Lenny responded was celebrating that his team didn't get beat, you know, and he was extremely happy with it. So I don't think Lenny's done anything wrong at all. You know, as a manager, you're under huge pressure every single game, every single day. So if you can't smile when your team hasn't got beat or celebrate when your team's winning, then the game's gone a little bit, isn't it?
Interestingly enough, I was at Tynecastle when Motherwell played Hearts in the Cup, and basically, Stephen Robinson was trackside. I remember specifically at the time, and he was shouting, basically, a referee, and the fans were giving him pelters again behind the dugout. And basically, he turned round and started laughing because he realised he could hear a couple of the quips and just started laughing. You know, some of it is good-natured fun, some of it becomes abusive, and those people don't know how to behave. So, listen, it's an ongoing issue. I knew it would stretch all the way to the weekend. You can give us your view on our YouTube channel, and also remember, try and be civil in your point. We will obviously delete any points of view that are completely and utterly insane. So don't waste your time if you're going to type something that's just stupid. Also, give us your thoughts on Facebook and Twitter as well. Let's turn to the football. Strangely enough, we're only 13 minutes into the programme. So Gary McAllister was speaking today. Of course, there's a fair bit of pressure now on Steven Gerrard. People are now starting to look at his side, his record, and it's not great as far as a start to the season is concerned, because it's not as good as the three previous incumbents in the Rangers dugout.
Yeah, look, but I think he's certainly is a. I know you're talking about points where they are just now, but if you look at the league table, they're, what is it? They're 8 points behind Hearts with a game in hand. They win that, it goes back to 5. I think they're only 4 points behind Celtic. It's not as bad as people are making out. Look, there's no doubt the Aberdeen game was a bit of a disaster in terms of not getting to the final. We all know that. You're expecting a reaction on the Wednesday night. The players never gave it. And you can't keep saying to the players, I need a reaction, I need a reaction. The players have got to take it upon themselves to do the job on the pitch. You can only do so much on the training pitch, Peter. Once they cross that white line, they need to go and do the business. Now, I've seen a few of the players come out and say, all right, we've had a chat and we need to do it on Saturday. Well, let's see. Go and show that you can go to St Mirren and get the 3 points and have a good performance.
Yeah, well, this is the first time actually I've just noticed in the media just now starting to question Steven Gerrard and looking at the record in the Premiership. But of course, Gary McAllister, his able assistant, says Steven Gerrard can handle the pressure.
As a manager, yes, but as a player, he's had plenty of disappointments. He's had some massive highs, you know, that's never in question. But he's a player that knows how to deal with the downsides of the game. You know, it's something he's coped with as a Liverpool captain, a Liverpool player, and as an England captain and an England player. So it's something he can handle. That's easy for me to say that because I know that.
Yeah, I don't see him being under pressure, Ruffy. I see it as a situation where, quite simply, he needs time, like any other manager needs time, just to get the whole thing rolling, you know, just to get the players that he's brought in time to adjust into his demands. And as he mentioned only last week, if they don't, then January, if he's got money, he changes it.
Yeah, I think when he got the job, like every other manager, he will have had boxes that he needs to tick. I think one would be to make the team better. That's a good tick. One would be to be competitive in Europe. That's another one. You know, obviously the league one, as Barry said, if it's not done and dusted because nobody, apart from, you know, Hearts, have had any kind of consistency. So big games are there to be won. I think he's had 3 bad results. He's had the Livingston result, he's had the Celtic result, and obviously the Aberdeen result. You know, and they'll see that as a progression from where they were last year and the year before.
Yep, over and above that, there's obviously a lot of talk focusing around Alfredo Morelos. This is what Gary McAllister had to say about the Colombian, what he's looking for from him.
He's our mainline striker. You know, I think he likes the pressure of being our top goal scorer. We've simply got to get more people up and in and around him. You know, taking opportunities to run beyond them. You know, and that responsibility falls on guys in the sides and guys from the middle of the park. You know, we can't just rely on one guy, as you say. There's that South American temperament there. There's no doubt. You know, and there's quite a few like him. But he's just got to stay on side with the referee. Let the referee referee.
Yeah, I think Gary obviously just alluding to the fact there that he's picking up yellow cards which could exclude him from games, and when you don't have, you know, a plethora of strikers to call on through various reasons, then Morelos being out of the team is a major blow, as the game against Aberdeen proved. Yeah,
there's no doubt he's an important player. He's a feisty character. I think if you take a bit of that out his game, Peter, you'll lose a bit. But I think Gary Mack's spot on there. It's about time other players stood up and be counted. It's not just all him. He's the only one it seems to have a bit of consistency and he's scoring the goals. It needs to come for the wide players, it needs to come for the middle of the park. Set pieces, centre halves need to start scoring. So it's not just all on him. I think the other players need to stand up and be counted and start producing.
I think this is the perfect game for Rangers to get back on track, and that sadly is a sad indictment of where St Mirren are. I don't expect any problems for Rangers in this one. No, I think anybody going along to the game or playing in the game would think that is the case, and you would think that if Rangers were to score pretty early on, it'll turn out the way we all think. You know, St Mirren have done it against Celtic. You know, sometimes these results happen, they come up, but I think if Rangers have got any fire in their belly at all, this should be a game that they've got to win. Okay, easy enough for you, Barry?
Yep, Rangers 2-0 for me.
Okay, well, it was a pretty solid performing Celtic in the month of October. Manager of the month is Brendan Rodgers, and player of the month in this double for them is James Forrest. Yeah, again, we were all surprised when James Forrest was omitted from the Scotland team, you know, after him having such a good result in midweek. And again, he's carried it on. He's got a tremendous ability. I think the only thing he doesn't have at this moment in time is a consistency that he used to have, but he's got bags of ability and he certainly can score goals.
Oh, he's a big player. There's no doubt for me. I think over the last 3 or 4 games, you can see Celtic are starting to kick on now. I was going between the 2 games on Wednesday night, and some of the play Celtic had in the first half, they look at a team now starting to get their confidence back, and he is key to that. He's what I think now that was missing before. He's starting to add goals to his games, so he's a big player for Celtic.
Coming up against Hearts for the second time in the space of a week, Ruffy. Hearts' injury worries are there for all to see. Do you think they can cause Celtic a problem at home?
I think it's always, we keep saying it's always a different place to go, but strikers, for me, win games, and that's what the strikers have been doing at Hearts. They've been winning games, and obviously with them being out just now, but as Barry said, you know, Celtic seem to be motoring now. You know, the rotation system seems to be working again, with the players that are coming in are producing the goods.
Okay, no Kouassi or Arzani. These two players look as if they're going to miss the rest of the season, which is a blow. So Celtic at home against Hearts, how do you see it?
I think it's a big loss for Hearts, but I've said it plenty of times. They're missing too many key players for me. I see Celtic winning this 2-0.
Okay, at the bottom end of the table, a huge match at Fir Park, Motherwell against Dundee. The Fir Park side getting a confidence-boosting win against St Mirren in midweek by 2-0. Now up against Jim McIntyre's Dundee, who are coming off the back of that thrashing by Celtic. Is this the moment when maybe the players can react for the Dens Park side? And what about Motherwell? Well, Stephen Robinson just says, you know, his remit is simple for Motherwell. It's stay in the league.
There is a little gap now. We've done well on Wednesday night to actually close it a little bit. We've got another opportunity to close it again, and we play Aberdeen, you know, in a couple of weeks as well. So, you know, everything's very early on. It's still very, very much in our hands. There is a gulf. There's a gulf in finances. There's a gulf in the teams in the league. And in reality, we're all probably fighting for one space in the top six. My remit is to stay in this division. With the budget we have and the size of club we are, is to stay in this division. My goal might be higher than that there. But as I say, I'll keep that within our dressing room, and we just need to build on a result on Wednesday night and see where it takes us.
I like Stephen Robinson. I think he's always blatantly honest about the situation, survival.
Yeah, but I thought they did well in the last couple of years. I think the Scottish Cup runs gave them a lot of confidence, and that Scottish Cup run took them into a good league run as well. Yeah, he's right in what he's saying, but I think if you push them on that, they would think that they could get that 6th place from Kilmarnock.
Okay, give us a prediction. Score.
Motherwell 2-0.
See, before the game on Wednesday, I fancied a draw with this one. I think Motherwell too much
to win it. Okay, Hamilton Accies against Livingston.
I know Livingston had a difficult result during the week, but I still think they'll be too strong for Hamilton.
I think Hamilton are difficult at home, and I think obviously Livingston had their good time this year, and I think it's going to be a draw.
Okay then, and last but by no means least from the Saturday, Hibs against St Johnstone, Ruffy.
I think it's more difficult than what we think now. I think St Johnstone are now beginning to get, you know, wee results here and there, but I still think that Hibs, although they never got a goal in midweek, they'll come up with the goods.
Hibs far too much quality. Convincing win. Okay,
there you are. And Kilmarnock against Aberdeen on the Sunday. Again, Killy, this run just keeps on going.
I know, we keep saying it every single week. The job that manager done, Stevie Clark, to that club has been unbelievable. I think it'll be a close one, but I think Kilmarnock will just edge it.
I'm going to go for Aberdeen in this one.
Okay.
Need the points.
Yeah, absolutely. Ruffy is so far behind. He's not as buoyant and not as, conceited about this head-to-head at the moment. Barry tucked in behind me in second, and Ruffy needing snookers as we speak. Thanks to Ruffy. Thanks to Barry. Good luck to Barry and his Kelty Hearts side at the weekend. Massive game for you.
Big game, league champions coming, so it'll be a great test for the boys.
Yep, good luck to you and all the Kelty Hearts boys. Don't forget you can subscribe to our YouTube channel Monday to Friday with the football show at 6. Good night.
Look, I never really experienced racism at school. Kids weren't racist to me. I had lots of friends with lots of different backgrounds, but I recall racism. I recall racism in the streets I walked, in terms of being in the city centre and having glass bottles thrown at us, or racist terms shouted at us, or walking down the streets, certain streets that you knew not to go down. You knew there'd be racist incidents. But my earliest memory of racism would be probably when I was 12, 13, leaving home to go to school one morning, seeing a strange-looking envelope on the front door, picking it up. I had the newspaper cut-out letters on it. Opening the letter up, seeing a picture mocked up of my mum tied to a chair with 2 guns pointed to her head, and it had the headline on it, "Bang Bang, that's all it takes," and it was a letter from Combat 18.